Right. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing? So I was just sitting here contemplating life, and was thinking. I went on a jog this morning, did about 4 miles, and as I was walking, man, I was thinking about this video that I had watched about this guy talking about. He went over to Africa and he was visiting this tribe, and he was, he's from the United States, and was telling them, hey, why don't you come over? I can make you a model. Like some of them, he's like, make lots of money, and they were like appalled at the thought of coming to America. And they're like, isn't that the place where people jump off of buildings, to their death? And like, you realize like just how foreign suicide was. And they had this really simple life where the men went out and they hunted during the day, and the women were at the village, and when the men came back they had the food, and the women were excited and happy, and there was the feast. They had dinner and danced by the fire, and like it was really simple, and it had everything that kind of like a human being needs, right? You had that thrill of the hunt, going out there and getting the food and coming back to the fire, and appreciation, thankfulness. You were bringing something back. Women were happy to see you again. There were stories shared. There was good times, food. Like that simple meal was the centralized part of the day. You realize how much of a blessing it is to have some meat, and to at the end of the day, to be able to sleep somewhere in safety after working hard and gaining food. And it's like, I think it made me think that the pleasures, right, that we have such an overload of pleasures here in the United States. It's like, you wake up, you've got your cell phone almost immediately going. You have breakfast. You could eat all sorts of sugary, carby garbage. It's advertised. You go to the job, you make enough money during a day usually to buy several meals. You could eat a lot of food. It loses its value, really. You start looking to other things for value, like vacations and cars and toys and all the stuff that we seek after. And those pleasures, you need more, bigger, better, constantly, and it's a losing game, right? And so you keep chasing after these things. You need more and more. It's like a drug addict, right? And we look out, and TV and commercials, everything is just invoking that envy within us. We see, oh man, that guy's got a bigger boat than me. That guy's got a bigger, nicer car. He's got a hotter wife. Like all these things. Like, man, I want that, right? And that's what all the programs are out there selling, is that desire for more. If you listen to me, if you buy my product, if you do what I did, you can get all these things, right? It's playing on that human emotion of envy, and I think that's where simplifying your life. I've been reading about fundamental or essentialism, right? Having things in your life that you use, like things, getting rid of all the clutter and the distractions and the excess, right? Doesn't mean don't have things, right? Finding that kind of middle ground. Like I'm not somebody who believes or ascribes to kind of the ascetic lifestyle where you don't have anything. You're constantly, putting your body through this torturous thing. I think that you can err there too, but I think you can err in opulence and wealth as well, and that it should be more about the daily, enjoying the simple daily things, giving back to people, being of service to others, helping, in your community, enjoying a meal with your friends and family, enjoying the work that you do, making it very simple, having a couple of hobbies, things that you enjoy doing, but you do, daily, and just keeping the stuff around your house to allow you to do those things, and you don't need anything more. Stop watching TV and commercials and all the stuff that makes you feel less than, that makes you desire more, right? Start to tailor and discipline yourself in those areas, and you can control that. Wealth is not a bad thing. Like I want to be wealthy for doing those simple things. I don't think that maybe that's a contradiction. I sometimes think about that. It's like enjoying what's there. If wealth comes, so be it. It's a blessing, but I'll be disciplined enough to handle the wealth. I think that's if I just, somebody gave me $100 million, you know, who knows, would I be disciplined enough to manage it, keep it from escaping and people stealing it, you know? I don't know. You know, right now I think that there's a good thing in not having that wealth, because it forces me to discipline myself and my budget, my finances, monitor it, make sure that I'm doing the right thing, only buying what I need, you know, and that's hard. That's really hard. $100 million, you know, I'd probably spend a lot of it on some stupid stuff, to be honest with you, you know. So that's an area of my life that I'm still actively working on, and you know, physical discipline has really helped me kind of start to succeed in other areas of my life, in my career, my finances. You know, it started with learning how to just start limiting and disciplining myself to exercise and eat the right things. You know, if you can control those parts of your life, you know, start there. Those are well within your realm, your sphere of influence. You know, and you don't have to go to the store and buy, you know, the junk food. You can go buy healthy, lean meats and fruits and vegetables and things like that. And start disciplining yourself, you know, because it takes time to get in habits where you know, that's what you do. You know, discipline yourself. Wake up a little bit earlier, put your jogging shoes on, go for a walk. You know, start there if that's all you can do. You know, so work up to where you're jogging for 5 minutes. You know, work up to where you're jogging for 10 minutes. You know, just keep adding slowly, daily, consistently. And you look back in a year or two, you know, your whole lifestyle has changed. You know, there's no fad diets, there's no quick fix, there's no 6-pack abs in 6 weeks. You know, it's not. All those things are gimmicks, and though maybe they work to a certain extent, but the people they haven't developed that disciplined lifestyle to maintain it. You know, it's about changing your perspective and your lifestyle gradually, about shifting and becoming that person on a daily basis. And that's where the long-term results come, and that's when it starts to just, you know, snowball, you know, compound out of control, is when you hang on to that over long periods of time. So I don't know, take that for what it's worth. That's a little story from me. Keep learning, keep growing, you know, focus on your daily disciplines, you know, establish good habits, identify negative habits, begin to work the negative out of your life and replace it with good. You know, virtuous living leads to peace and calmness in your life. Cutting out the distractions and the things that are stirring up negative emotions. You know, it's important to be able to do that. You know, if you want to actually live peace, you can have all the money in the world and have every pleasure that this world has to offer and have no peace. And what do you have? You have nothing. You become angry and resentful and start looking to cause trouble, and you're miserable. So focus on the things that you have control of in your life. Start small, stay consistent. Peace.